went to Davis with me and is a good friend.
He's here now?
Yeah, he's actually, his family lives in Elk Grove, I believe. Last time I had talked to him, and that was about 9 months ago. But he goes all over the country.
I was wrong. Katie's totally blocking that.
Do I need to move?
Yes. Oh, perfect. There we go.
Here?
The only thing's blocking out is the mic stand. So
Okay, I will.
that's all good though. That should work. Oh, we got Katie.
Do you guys ever take phone calls?
Yeah.
Really?
We will take. I'll get up the number.
Oh, okay.
But we know that some people call in.
Oh, really? All right, good.
I've had a couple over the years, but that's it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of big callers in.
No?
Keep hoping Katie will work on that.
I'm trying.
Well, we can get callers. I mean, we have to strategically tell them to call in and have specific questions.
Yeah.
Kind of.
We've done that before too.
Planted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, you need to call and you need to ask this.
Yep. Stephanie Perkins, I emailed her yesterday. I had a client that went berserk on me. I'm like, can I even ask you for legal advice anymore? Are you still a lawyer?
What'd
Like,
she say?
what's the story? She said, you can ask me questions because I don't bill anyways. Unless CLA sees value in my presence, this should technically go through their risk management team.
So that's an answer. It's not really an answer.
The applicant just needs a disclosure consistent with FCRA if adverse decision. I don't even know what that means. She gave me a lawyer answer and I don't understand it. Alright.
Tell her I'll be reaching out to her.
I barely even see her anymore, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Put these on.
And you have volume controls right here?
Did you find out?
I can't hear anything other than the
Turn
on
it
the
up.
radio. Where is the?
It's where your thing is plugged in. Just
Alright.
twist the knob until you hear noise.
Huh? It goes up, but it does okay. There.
Did you find out about the commercial? I know it's still on my list to write that. I'll do it this week. I promise. Oh, I had an article I was gonna talk about. Did you find out about that commercial?
What's that?
Writing the commercial? You were gonna ask.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I will do that.
Showtime with a mic check.
All right. Test, test. Can you hear Jerry? Jerry, can you hear me now?
Testing, testing. Good morning. Wednesday. Test.
Good,
Testing, testing. Hello.
He's
3.
He's on 3. Yeah.
Testing, testing.
Again?
Again. Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
Gotta kiss
All
the
right.
thing.
All right.
My iPad crashed, so I had to restore it, and I don't know what my password is for Facebook, so I can't watch. I keep trying, and none of them are working.
I hate it when that happens. I have a contact in my phone with a secret name that I put everything in just in case such an event.
So there's just so many passwords
what?
nowadays.
For passwords.
Oh, okay. Actually, just FYI, you might get a phone call. The kids in my team know I'm on here, and they
Yeah, I
might
was
think
gonna
it's
say.
fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just FYI.
It's all good. We'll let them on. We'll see what
I don't
name
know
they
if
come up
they're
with.
all 14 to 15 to 16 years old, and they're not the. Just be careful.
Yeah, we'll see what name they come up with.
Oh, yeah.
Ben? Did you gamble?
A little bit.
How'd you do?
Lost it all.
Were you doing machines or?
Just one night. Rick's not into it.
That's good.
I'm not super into it. I think we lost $50. I gave him a 20. I spent 20, and he spent another 10.
So you guys did the burlesque show, and what else? What other show?
So we drove in Friday. Friday night we went to Defending the Caveman, which is like a stand-up comedy.
Oh,
about
how was that?
relationships. It's hilarious.
Is it?
I've seen it twice. And that was in Fremont Street. Fremont Street's not for me. It's a little much.
A little crazy.
Yeah, and it was locals Friday, so it was like a bunch of local. It was a rough crowd.
Oh, really?
Extra rough crowd. And then Saturday we walked the whole strip all day long. Went out to that burlesque stripper show after dinner. Sunday we went to the Julian Serrano Tapas place. We did wine. Then we went to the tapas and wine, and then that's when we ended up at White House.
Tapas place is at Aria.
Yeah. Super good.
I think where in Aria is that?
Bottom floor in the back. It's like purple, red, and orange, and there's like
Okay, okay.
glass balls hanging in the tile. It's beautiful. It was a really, really good meal.
Do you ever
But
go there? Oh, sorry.
each one of the dishes is like 3 little pieces of yellowtail. It's like $16. So
Sure.
that's how we wrapped it at the time. But I'm like, it's your birthday. This only happens once a year.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever.
Do you ever go to Vegas?
I have, not in a while, though.
I can't handle it very often.
Wow, I can't go
Exactly.
there.
Every couple years for a few days is
Yeah.
just the lines. I mean, even just to get a crepe for breakfast at the Paris, it was like an hour.
Really?
It was just, well, the service is slow.
You're there on the weekend though, right? So
Friday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday.
It's busier,
But just the crowds and just some of the walkways were closed, and so you just have hordes of people. And I just can't. I'm too old for that.
It's one of those places that you're like, oh, it's gonna be so awesome, and then like 2 days later, you're
Oh,
like,
God.
get me out of
This
here.
place.
Everything I own is impermeated with the smell of cigarettes.
Yep.
At least Aria used to be pretty good better at kind of funneling it out than other
Yeah, Aria is
casinos.
gorgeous.
Yeah, Aria doesn't. I mean, they do a pretty good job.
And Mandalay Bay is beautiful too. Is my favorite. Are we on?
Almost. Yeah, Mandalay Bay is nice. Paris is alright.
Yeah. We stayed at Luxor the first night and then
Yeah.
Flamingo the next 2 nights.
And where?
Flamingo.
Okay.
I like Luxor a lot. I'm not super fan of Flamingo. I was disappointed for what we paid. That we got a really old, kind of crappy room.
Where'd you get the? Did you find the hotel anywhere?
I booked
particular?
them through Booking.com.
Not necessarily.
I have an article too.
Let's pull that stuffy now. It's a 2-part article. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. I'm your co-host, Mark Bellows, a principal with Clifton Larson Allen. I'm a tax guy. I work with businesses and their owners in manufacturing distribution businesses, real estate investors and developers, and construction people. And also my co-host.
Good morning.
Good
Katie
morning,
McConnell
Katie.
with Clifton Larson Allen, hiring consulting practice leader, working with all things recruiting.
And we're going to get that changed, our intro changed, so that Katie's name is there now.
Yes. So I've been on the list.
Yeah, she's an official co-host for the last month or so. How was your week?
So far, so good.
Good. You were in
Busy again.
Vegas over the weekend.
In Vegas,
You
beginning
saw
of
a
the
couple
week.
shows.
Had
and
enough for that.
Yeah.
Back to Sacramento.
You're good for a couple of years.
It was actually cold and windy on Sunday. It rained and it was blowing 25, 30 mile an hour winds. So not super fun walking around on the strip blowing away.
No.
Yeah. I gotta air it out in Vegas once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're bald.
I'm
barely
bald.
recognized you
Yeah,
this
I'm
morning.
mostly bald. It's as close as they get.
What was the final tally?
About $6,500 raised. So.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was my 7th year doing it, so I was a knight. That's what they call it.
So St.
So I got
Baldrick's
knighted.
Foundation.
Yeah.
With the children.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was with the first shavee, one of the first 2 shavees. Me and another guy who's got he's been this 10 years in a row or something. So.
Very good.
Yeah, so head shaved. Now my head's cold and.
Now I need a hat. Now I need a hat.
I know, right? Now I do have a beanie, but. I started swimming again this week, which will tie into our guest a little bit.
Yeah.
So I haven't swam in like a year, and my calves cramped up. And so
Some bananas.
I know, right? Well, I looked it up, and it said the main cause when is doing too much too soon.
You know that you're getting old when you're Googling why things are hurting.
Why is my leg cramping?
Yeah. I did the same thing. I'm walking around Vegas Saturday, probably walked, 12 miles just up and down. I have a plantar fasciitis in my foot. On WebMD, Googling that, what's wrong with me? Look.
You're way too young for that, though.
Well.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so it's tax time, as you know, right? It's tax season. We're busy. Yeah, we're busy. But I have here a couple articles I thought were interesting. One is that the IRS has $1 billion in unclaimed tax refunds.
I hear that every year.
This is from 2013 specifically.
Right.
So there are, Jerry, you haven't filed your 2013 return, you might have a refund. Okay, 2013. This is not 2016. But in California alone, there's 97,000 people who have tax refunds awaiting.
And just
haven't filed.
those are legal residents, or?
Presumably. There's someone that had money withheld or paid estimates and never filed a return to claim it. So 97,000 people. Average refund in California is there's like $700. So if you're one of those people who hasn't filed your 2013 return, don't let the IRS keep your money. What are they going to do with it?
I don't know if I buy it.
You don't think that's right?
No.
Well, maybe it's not. We'll see, huh? But also, there are some things that are not taxable. Some income or some money that you get in. It's not taxable. So I wanted to cover a couple of those things here today. So when you're doing your tax return, like Jerry did yesterday.
Vegas winnings. I don't have any, so I don't have to worry about it. Can I
It's
write
only
off
when
my
it's
losses?
up to the amount of your winnings, yes.
Well, that's a bust.
Yeah, it's a bust, total bust. Number 1 is educational assistance from your boss. If your boss pays for some of your education, it's continuing type education, you can exclude that from income. Number 2 is adoption help from your employer. You can exclude up to $13,000 per child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if the company helps you cover the cost of adopting a child. Number 3 is payments for caring for children. Foster parents, when they get paid, the money's not taxable. 5 minutes. Number 4 is workers' compensation. If you get workers' comp, that's not taxable to you. Unemployment benefits are, but workers' comp is not. Number 5, life insurance proceeds. When they're paid to you because of the death of the insured person, that amount's tax-free. So it's always good to know. Number 6, carpooling. If you collect cash from your commuting coworkers. So,
Right.
I don't know who would declare that, but if you wanted to claim that, you don't have to. It's tax-free. Unless, of course, you go and join Uber, then it becomes a taxable enterprise.
Right.
It's a business. Number 7, energy conservation subsidies. If you get something from your electric company, like a rebate from SMUD for putting in something, or PG&E for putting in some kind of better, air conditioner or something like that, that rebate's not taxable. Number 8, municipal bond earnings. If you invest in state and local government bonds, California bonds for us here in California, that stuff is non-taxable. Number 9 is gifts. If you get a gift from someone, financial gift, it's not taxable.
I hope not. They stick you in every direction.
I know. But actually the giver is potentially subject to gift tax if it exceeds certain amounts. So for any gift, it's the giver that could have to pay a tax. The givee, the one who receives the gift, is not taxable. And number 10 is inheritance, the same kind of thing. If you inherit money, it's not taxable to you. The only difference would be is if you inherited, let's say, a stream of money, maybe an IRA or something, then as you receive that money, that becomes taxable. But if you receive a house as an inheritance, for instance, it's not going to be taxable.
I was looking at an article online about people who use social media are isolated and feel more lonely.
Yes.
So we are on Facebook Live for those
We
of us
are,
that watch
yes.
us. We're
Hello, Facebook
streaming live,
yes.
so hopefully you're not feeling isolated and alone as you watch
Yeah.
us. It was interesting how many different forms of social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, Snapchat, I don't even know what that is, Reddit,
It just went public, Snapchat did.
Tumblr,
Reddit.
Pinterest, Vine, and LinkedIn. That's a lot. That's just a lot of passwords to remember.
I know. Well, Vine has kind of gone away, though. It's now just a camera app.
I've
It
never
used to
even
be
heard
a
of it.
social media. My kids.
It died on the vine.
Yeah, dead on the vine.
Is that bad? Okay.
Did you mention Tumblr?
Tumblr, I don't know what that is either.
That's another one.
I know Pinterest because that's where I get my recipes. But all these other ones. So.
You don't know what Snapchat is. You mentioned that before.
Right. Yeah, and I don't
kids
tweet.
do.
I don't have a Twitter either.
Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And LinkedIn, of course, the recruiter's tool.
Yeah, LinkedIn. Do you use LinkedIn? You use LinkedIn every day?
Every day.
All day long.
All day long.
Do you go and solicit candidates on LinkedIn?
Absolutely.
And do you have success doing that?
Absolutely.
Do you? You probably want to share any trade secrets. Is there something that works better than something else?
There are a lot of tricks. Actually, in April on the show, we're going to be talking about hiring and recruiting all month long. So we'll probably do a lot of talking about
a little teaser for April.
Hiring tips and tricks. April's right around the corner. It's
I know.
practically Easter.
April 15th
Watching
is
the
right around the corner.
Safeway or Target the other day, they got all their Easter stuff out.
Oh yeah.
It's like they bypassed St. Patrick's Day entirely.
Yeah.
It's Easter now. After that, it's going to be Christmas or 4th of July, I guess.
Yeah. In 25 days, well, Memorial Day, but 25 days is baseball season kicks off. 25 days if you're a baseball fan. So.
I guess I'm gonna have to.
I am. Yeah. Do you? You're not a baseball fan?
No,
Giants,
not really.
A's, anything like that? No.
River Cats.
Yeah,
They'll be on
we'll have
the
Jeff
show.
on the show in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, something else happened this week, or maybe it was last week, but within the last week, the U.S. authorities raided Caterpillar's facilities because they feel like Caterpillar has all this foreign income they didn't pay tax on, so the IRS went in and raided them, which is kind of interesting. But one of the things I thought that came out of that, because they felt like it was $2.4 billion in taxes that they didn't pay because they were in wherever their island or something. But one of the things the Senate committee said is that they criticized Caterpillar's accountants, PwC, because since they were both an auditor and a tax consultant, they felt like they were auditing their own work.
Not independent.
Not independent, which is interesting, I think.
PwC's been under the looking
From
glass.
the
I wonder whatever
Oscars,
happened
yes.
with the Oscars in there.
I think that guy can't work on it anymore, that team. All right, you're listening to Beyond the Numbers at Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. We'll be right back.
Shoot, I didn't know we had a minute left. I would have introduced John. Or teased. Like, whoopsie.
All right, really better teasing then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Really better teasing. Can you hear all right?
Oh yeah. I think so. Yeah, I can hear you guys.
That's all I need.
You can hold on to these ones for next week.
I don't know if you. You'd be more.
I'm very aware that employees are quitting because I picked up 12 new clients since last Wednesday.
That's good.
It's insane. Insane. I was at the office until 7:30 last night.
Making up for being in Vegas all weekend.
I was working in the car because we drove.
Were you? How long did it take you to drive?
Well, on the way there, we stopped quite a few times. So it was like 8.5 hours. And then on the way back, we tried to just blow straight through. We went up and over 80 on the way back. We came up through Bakersfield.
Yeah.
But it took us a little over an hour sitting in traffic right outside of Vegas. Like 20 minutes outside of town. They had road work and it was insane. Sat there for where that giant solar farm is, off on the right-hand side in Nipton. So I was reading on Wikipedia about that solar farm. I guess about 35 birds a month die flying through there because the rays from the mirror go into that light. It's basically a bunch of mirrors and a solar light that reflects onto this water, and it gets like 1,000 degrees and it glows really white hot.
Really?
And it makes steam.
Yeah. It's a power plant. And there's like birds
What
flying and
kills
like
the
get
birds?
vaporized.
The
Yeah.
steam?
Well, imagine if you had a magnifying glass where you like magnifying glass and you put them all up together.
Yeah.
Into
like
one
ants
stream.
and everything else.
And we're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. We're just talking about Katie's drive back and how birds are dying outside this solar farm in Nipton.
There's a crazy solar farm, and there's all these solar panels. I guess it gets up to 1,000 degrees, and they're attracted to the light because the bugs hang around the lights. Birds go in for the bugs,
Zap.
eat and then dead.
Interesting.
So the negative impact of environmental causes, I guess.
Yeah.
Dead
Well, a
birds.
few birds, Jerry, like that. A few birds to sacrifice for the cause. Yeah, windmills too. Well, we have a guest today, John Joyce. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, thanks for being on the show. John is a advisor and a CRPS.
Correct.
Did I get that right? Okay.
That is
with
correct.
Sutter Wealth Management.
Yes.
And in addition to that, in his spare time, John coaches water polo,
Yes.
both at Jesuit High School, where he's the JV coach, and then the American River Water Polo Club.
You are correct.
Good thing I need my glasses to read that.
So I don't know anything about water polo. How many people are on a team?
All right. There's 6 field players and 1 goalie.
7. So is that's less than soccer? Or it's basically like soccer in a pool, right?
Conceptually, yes.
Got it. Okay.
So 7, because soccer's usually 11 aside.
Okay.
So 7 aside, and then how many others do you have on the side? I mean, does Jesuit cut, or do they not? Is that a non-cut sport?
Jesuit is a non-cut sport. It's something we've always been. We want to allow as many players to get opportunities.
Right.
Our freshman class and our sophomore classes are more the development side, so we want them to be getting as much playing time. But as they progress and get older, when they become varsity athletes, it becomes much more competitive.
Sure. And then the club itself, how many players do you have on the club?
The club has currently about 750 athletes, and between all the year-round programs.
And how many different water polo teams are in the club?
We'll go both boys and girls, from 10 and under all the way up to 18 and under.
Oh, okay. So the different age groups.
10 and under?
Yes.
Wow.
Hey, you got to start early in any sport.
You get to wear a life jacket. It's deep water, right?
Well, one of the requirements is that the kids do have swimming skills to be able to make it up and down the pool.
And do you know, Katie, what an egg beater is?
I don't.
Because that is one of the things that water polo people do, right?
Yes, you got to know how to do that if you want to be successful.
Water?
That's exactly what it is, actually.
Got it.
Treading water. So you have to go for how long?
Let's see.
So for 10 and under, how long would the 10 and under kid have to?
I actually don't know how long those quarters are, but at the high school level, you go 4 7-minute quarters, and can't touch the bottom, can't touch the wall,
Can't touch the sides.
And you can't touch the sides.
Can't touch
like
other
that.
players, but strategically.
Yeah, it's a rough sport.
It is a rough sport, yeah.
I wonder how you get into
seen
doing something like that. I mean, I went to a really small high school in Quincy. We did not have water polo, but you know, one day you just decide I'm going to sign up for water polo.
Well, I can speak to my personal experience. I was always on a competitive swim team since I was 4 or 5 years old, and when I got to high school, I actually did not play water polo my freshman year, but played football, and I was all right. I wasn't anything special. But I swam on the swim team, and the coach is like, "Hey, you're really tall, and you're actually a decent swimmer. You need to come play this sport." And
he was just trying to get you off the football team.
Yeah, basically.
Keep you in the pool more often.
And swimming requires a lot of just swimming laps, up and down, following a black line. And when they took the lane lines out, they give you a ball. They allow you to kind of beat up on each other and score goals and their strategy and offense. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, I think I want to do this.
Where'd you go to high school?
Jesuit.
Okay, you went to Jesuit.
Yeah.
And so then did you play collegiately, right?
Yeah, I was actually, I was very, very fortunate to get recruited out of Jesuit, and ended up going to UC Davis and play on the Division I men's team there many, many years ago. But it was a great experience, and again, it's very, very fortunate to be able to have that type of an opportunity.
And did you guys travel a lot at the time?
Yeah, I mean, both at the high school level and at the collegiate level. I mean, we traveled all over the country for tournaments, playing other colleges all over California and the West Coast.
And so with Jesuit now, you guys still do, your team still travels, I would imagine. So.
Yeah, we typically would not travel out of state, but there are tournaments in Los Angeles. There's tournaments in the Bay Area that we go because. Just kind of a little background of the sport. It's very, very prominent in California, and some of the best programs in the state reside in the Bay Area, and then even more so in Southern California. And one of the things that the kind of the philosophy of the program is to play against the best and the biggest and the strongest. And even though there are great teams in the Sacramento area, there are also really great teams all over the state, and we're trying to always put the boys in situations where they're going to be challenged.
And now it's not co-ed, it's strictly men.
Well, no, I mean there are women's water polo teams. Jesuit's an all-boys high school, so
of course. Right.
so yeah, it's all boys in that case. But for example, the American River Water Polo Club, where I'm one of the age group coaches, has just as many male athletes as they have female athletes.
Oh, okay.
And so. When you guys do the traveling for Jesuit, does the school pay for it? Do you guys have to do fundraisers?
We do fundraise, but it is mostly subsidized by the school.
So what type of fundraising do you guys do?
The fundraising we actually do for, they've got auctions and they've got different type of alumni things. As for the club, which is actually a little more relevant, we do fundraisers. We actually have a fundraiser on April 27th that we do every single year just to raise awareness for the sport, their sponsorship opportunities, and we really want to kind of just allow. It's one of the situations where if a kid wants to play water polo and his parents or family may not be able to afford it, we want to be able to provide that opportunity.
Absolutely. It's a great opportunity for scholarship, it sounds like, also.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. For male field. So what's the event on the 27th? The big one?
It is at, and again, don't get me, if I'm telling the wrong event, I'm probably going to hear about it later today, or the wrong date, but it's April 27th at the Croatian Center in Sacramento, and it's just our annual fundraiser where it's kind of dinner, silent auction, that type of thing. Right. The coaches are all the bartenders and the servers, so if you're part of the club, it's a great opportunity. If you're interested in the sport, you can go to arwpc.com and get more information. And there's also other coaches that you can get in touch with, and all the contact information is on there.
Okay, arwpc.com for information on that. If you want to get a hold of John, you can Joyce, Joyce, at sutterwm.com.
Correct.
Or 916-740-1805 is the way you call them. So how long have you been coaching?
Well,
sticking with the water polo.
I've been coaching for about 2 years now, but I actually did coach at Jesuit back in the early 2000s as I was finishing my degree at UC Davis.
Okay.
But about 2 years ago, a close friend and former teammate of mine, almost 20 years ago, came to me and asked if I wanted. He had just become the head coach at Jesuit, and he had previously been at UOP, and he asked if I wanted to kind of be the JV coach and help develop the program. The old coaches just kind of left, and it was a kind of a situation where they wanted to have a fresh start. And I said yes, and the rest is history. And we've been just developing the program, putting the boys through swim sets and all that kind of good stuff.
And then, like we were talking about earlier off air, but it's year round.
Correct.
It's not they show up for the fall and they're done.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, but if you want to,
5 minutes.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
That's sorry.
If you want to play year round, which we promote, because if you want to be a competitive athlete, you need to be playing all the time.
Right.
The high school season is in the fall, and then there's two other programs through the club that go during the winter and then the spring and summer.
And now, Jesuit, is that a year-round school, or do they get a summer break like every?
They do have
high school?
They do have a summer break.
Okay, but
Yeah.
they play through the summer break.
Yeah,
Jesuit have their own pool?
they do.
Oh, that's good. And where does the American water polo?
We typically we will play out of Rio Americana, which is right. It's like a couple hundred yards away from Jesuit, and we'll also have access to the Jesuit pool as well.
Okay.
Cool.
So water polos, that's great that you do that, and I think that's the development of the young men, and I'm sure they learn more skills than just water polo.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it's a lesser known because you don't see it on TV like you see soccer,
The
football.
Olympics, you see it during the Olympics, right?
That is correct,
But
yeah.
other than that, you don't really see
Yeah.
it. It's just not so mainstream.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like public accounting.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what it is.
Until they flub up the Oscars.
Right.
Then everyone knows it.
Yeah, it's not as prominent in the United States. Over in Europe, there are professional leagues, and those are actually if you go to the Olympics and you look at those teams, they're the ones, the main global powerhouses.
Are there any professional clubs in the U.S.?
They've been trying to develop them, but it's just there hasn't been the ability to do it at this point.
That's interesting, because like lacrosse, I think they've got professional lacrosse leagues, and that's a sport that I never even heard about really growing up until I ran into some people in college that were from the East Coast that did it.
And maybe cricket also. Same
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, so
Cricket is very intense.
cricket is really intense. We've got a cricket player that we work with.
We do,
He's
a
one of the
Sri
top ones
Lankan
in the
native.
US.
That
Oh,
John
really?
knows.
I
John
do.
knows.
Oh, you know Shever?
I have met him. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. Shever's a great cricket player, although he's been injured lately.
We're all injured because you've started swimming recently too.
Yeah.
I was just reading this morning that arthritis is not just an older person's disease now. That was the headline on the Wall Street Journal.
Is
this
that right?
morning.
Arthritis is not an old person's disease.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an everybody disease.
Yeah, I think so. It's sad.
It is.
Yeah.
Take your vitamins.
So, if you lived in this area your whole life, did you ever leave after college, or did you stay?
I actually was born in Los Angeles, moved up here when I was very, very young, have gone to grade school, high school here, went to UC Davis, and then after college spent about 5 or 6 years in the Bay Area working in the financial district of San Francisco.
So, was your degree from Davis as financial in finance, I guess?
It was in political science.
Okay.
So it's the standard kind of liberal arts degree.
So how'd you get from political science at Davis to work in an industry you're in now?
It's a long answer.
We got a minute and a half.
Okay.
Maybe we'll cut you off.
All right.
We'll
Well, basically, I graduated from college. Really didn't know what I wanted to do. Was coaching, and I knew I enjoyed finance and the financial markets and economics and like geopolitics and all that kind of stuff. And kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to take a job at a bank in a major financial hub. San Francisco being the nearest one,
Sure.
And just to get some experience and get some training, and then kind of get that first job out of college, and then after that, see where it goes.
So what bank did you start with?
Union Bank.
Oh, Union Bank. Okay.
Yep.
And how long were you there?
About 6 years.
Yeah. So did you start like as a teller, or was it more of like a?
It was a management training program.
Okay.
So the position that I was being trained for was kind of a business specialist, commercial banking specialist.
Right.
Just working with business owners. So lines of credit, loans, treasury management, that type of stuff.
What?
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say when we get back, I want to talk more about the crossover of sports and business. Of course, I'm in hiring, doing a lot of interviews every single week, and one of the things that my clients look for is somebody that's involved in activities in sports, that team approach, and sort of how that crosses over into the business world.
Good. All right, we'll talk about that when we get back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network.
My work phone is on silent, so I don't know why it rung. I thought it was an alarm
Someone
going off or
called.
something.
Yeah.
It's weird though because it's not
She's in
supposed
demand.
to ring.
Oh, you turn it on? I turn mine off.
It's on
Or else
silent,
or no one really likes me.
unless it will ring through off of silent if you call 3 times in a row, like
Oh,
if
really?
it's an emergency. So I'm wondering if
You want to check it?
no,
Okay.
it's not an it wasn't my mom or Rick, so it's fine. It's a client's version of an emergency.
Yeah.
Somebody gave notice. Call over and over and over again.
It's like, you know what, everything's going to be fine an hour from now. It'll be all right.
We'll make it through. We'll coach you through it.
It's not like we're going to hire somebody by the end of the day.
That's what they think is going to happen, though.
Do you ever get a one-day turnaround? Is there ever a need for that? I mean, that's pretty fast. You have a real risk, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't
Missing
think I would
something.
not coach a client
Yeah.
that is an advisable decision
Yeah.
to make. But I have done like a 2-week turnaround, yeah. But I don't advise it. I think it should be a long, thoughtful process, hiring.
So is 2 weeks the fastest?
2 months is what I tell clients.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants it right now, right now,
Of
right
course,
now. But
yeah.
it's, to me, it should be about quality, not about expediency.
Yeah.
I'm on this quest of education with clients to teach them better ways to look at these
Yeah.
kinds of things.
That's good.
It's an uphill battle.
Mm-hmm.
Last night for dinner, I made a portobello mushroom with pesto, mozzarella, and sliced tomato. Oh, it was so good. After being in Vegas and eating, literally on the way back from the lunch, we saw this place called Brexy, and they make sandwiches with waffles instead of bread, and tacos with waffles. So we're like, oh, we gotta go there. So we split a fried chicken and waffle sandwich after we had just eaten lunch and ice cream.
There's one of those places in Folsom.
That's Waffle Experience. It's different.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me.
I made chicken and waffle. I know about every good chicken and waffle in town.
Sorry. Whoops.
That's how you rack up a $1,500 expenses in 4 days. Is you eat and then you go eat and then you eat again on your way back. from
Yeah.
eating.
Yeah. It's a lot of eating.
Yeah, it is. It's okay.
Eating and drinking.
I'm luckily not morbidly obese, so I can make room for it.
And it's one thing about like swimming and working out. You're like, I can eat whatever I want. Well, it's kind of
Yeah.
maintaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
I usually operate on the I can eat whatever I want, no crumb left behind program, because
Seafood diet, seafood eating.
Exactly. I'm everything in moderation. You know, if I want to have something, I'll just have half of whatever it is, because otherwise I'll fall hard off the wagon and make bad choices. But I was craving some vegetables after eating like that for 4 days. So I made portobello mushrooms and quinoa for dinner last night, and salad.
We eat that kind of stuff a lot. Don likes making them.
I do too, but it's hard to get vegetables when you're in Vegas. Nobody's like, can I get some asparagus with that?
Yeah, there's no
There's no farm to fork.
Like, I'll have the biggest fried chicken and waffle, and please pour some whiskey on top of that and deep fry the whole thing.
Lots of prime rib, steak, good seafood. Lots of good seafood.
Yeah, really are.
But yeah, not much in the way of the vegetables.
We
Or if
did
they are
this-
vegetables, they're covered in butter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We did this ice cream tasting game where they bring out 20 different flavors of ice cream, and you taste them all and have to guess what they are.
Where's that at?
RM Seafood, outside of Mandalay Bay.
Okay.
We got all of them except for one.
What was the one you missed?
Cherry. We said cranberry, but we got mango habanero, raspberry mint, guava. There was,
Jeez.
yeah. I mean, I have a wine palate, so
That's pretty good.
I was impressed with myself.
And we're back. You listen to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mark Bellows, the principal at Clifton Larson Allen in Roseville, and my co-host
Katie McConnell here, hiring consulting practice leader over at Clifton Larson Allen.
And you've said, how many new clients do you have in the last
12
days?
since Wednesday. The
12
market is crazy. Well, John, our guest John Joyce with Sutter
Yes.
Financial can tell us a little bit more about that as well. I think the stock market is on fire. We're leading. I mean, we always see the trends in hiring because it's one of the first things that happens when you need to grow a business is you hire. So I'm kind of on the leading edge of what's going on with the market and hiring. Great to see that happening.
Yeah.
Growth across the board. It's been insane. And there's just a lot of movement with different candidates in the marketplace right now too.
So people really feel like they can make a move, feel comfortable making a move. There's lots of opportunity for moving.
I think, and also we're seeing folks retire, and John could probably speak to this with his 401k practice expertise. We're kind of getting to a point where they're feeling comfortable with retiring again, coming out of the recession, okay, getting ready to set up a 12-month plan to exit the workforce and bring in somebody under them. So I'm doing a lot of new positions, a lot of succession planning for retirements, especially in the accounting side of town.
Well, professional services.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of us that are older in professional services, so there's a lot of people that baby boomers that will be retired. I think people put it off for a while, but a lot of them are starting to do it now. So you're seeing that.
Right, and I specialize in construction as well in hiring, and we're seeing a lot. Everybody needs superintendents.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody needs project managers. There's so much growth and development going on. Of course, the government just gave a bunch of money for school building infrastructure. So my clients that are building in public works they're turning away work because they just don't have the people to support the amount of business that they have. So it's a big market right now.
Yeah, good times, good stuff. So you were at Union Bank for 6 years?
Correct.
And then where'd you go after that?
I moved back to Sacramento, met my current associate, Phil Anderson, and we decided to form Sutter Wealth Management in Roseville and Granite Bay, and the rest is kind of history.
So when did you guys form it? What year?
2010.
2010. And what was the point of the business when you formed it? What were you guys looking to do?
I can speak for myself. It's an industry I've always wanted to get into. I kind of, when I was in San Francisco, I was there during 2008, and everybody kind of knows what happened then. And I always had a philosophy that imagine if a person, a business owner, a retiree, any person had somebody that was truly on the same side of the table as them and could provide objective advice to them regarding their finances, not just retirement accounts, but everything else. Just about allow them to make unemotional decisions when it comes to their money, because that's what usually gets people in trouble. And
Yeah.
and so I've always wanted to be in that role. And I knew I'd probably have a little more success in my hometown, and that was the reason I moved back.
All right, good. So we're talking to John Joyce, who's with Sutter Wealth Management. If you want to call in and ask questions, the number here is 866-576-1055. If you're a client of John's, if you're one of his students,
Athletes.
Athletes. Sorry.
Student athletes
Student
is
athletes.
the appropriate term.
One of these student athletes, if you've got questions for Katie and I, give us a call, 866-576-1055.
And of course, you can always call us at Clifton Larson Allen, 916-784-7800.
You got it. And that's our switchboard, and you can get to Katie right from there.
It's so close to my personal cell phone. I find I accidentally give it out to clients.
What's your personal cell phone?
Yeah, no. You can call that CLA number and we'll...
916-784-7800.
We'll
You get
talk
hold of
about
Katie
that.
or I.
So before the break, we were talking with John about water polo and his coaching activities. Curious about the tie over between the water polo and business sector. I mean, where do your student athletes land years after water polo? Are they ending up in business?
Absolutely. That's actually one of the most rewarding parts of coaching, is to see where kids that you coached and helped along the way have ended up from a career perspective. And I know from my time coaching back in early 2000, I can now see some of those athletes, and they're lawyers, doctors, professionals all over the United States.
Right. That's good.
That's something that my clients look for in hiring also. It's a big sell, is somebody that's been a part of a sports team.
Absolutely.
Working on them, as an athlete, working with others.
Yeah, I think the team aspect is key, right? I mean, in most businesses, you gotta have, there's some aspect of teamwork, if not a lot. And so they get that in a program like yours.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that we strive to kind of instill in them is leadership, discipline, not just how to shoot harder or how to swim faster, but how to be a good teammate, how to be a good leader, how to understand roles and responsibilities, and how you may be the best player in the pool, but if you're not helping to make your teammates better around you, your success is going to be limited.
Having been in this business, or been a coach for 10 years? A little over 10 years.
Well, yeah.
Are you seeing a shift because of that millennial and now the Gen Z generation in college, in high school now?
There is definitely a difference from when I used to play to when I coached again, and when I coached right out of college to today. It's hard to describe. I think it's just a lot of with social media and technology. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, the email was just starting to become something. The internet had been around, but it was not even to the level that it is today. And I remember having pagers, and cell phones didn't exist in high school. So if you wanted to get in touch with somebody, you had to call their phone at their house and talk to their parents many times to get in touch with them. But it's changed. I don't know if it's necessarily changed for the good or for good or for bad, but it's definitely different.
Well, they say that the millennial generation is the trophy generation. The everybody needs to be included, everybody needs a trophy. In hiring, I don't know how true that is. I think everybody feels that way regardless of what their age bracket is. So I'm not a big fan of the generational divide, but I think there's been a shift in society overall. I mean, I'm sure you work with the parents of a lot of these
Absolutely, and
athletes as well.
One of the things that we really try to do is engage the parents, just because I find that if the parents and the coaches are on the same page when it comes to their sons or daughters' development, their son or daughter is the one that benefits the most.
Yeah, so is it pretty easy? Jesuit, I imagine you have a lot of kids whose parents are engaged.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a wide range, but for the most part, all the parents they come to the practices. It's a commitment on mom and dad's part to take them to tournaments during the weekend, and it's a financial commitment as well. And so we want them to be as engaged as they want to be.
And do you see that same thing with the club?
Absolutely, it's the exact same.
Yeah. Although you don't need a lot of gear like for football, right? Because you're in the pool, so you just need like some trunks and a hat or something.
Well, it's a suit. People call it a Speedo. It's called a cap, Katie.
A cap.
These little plastic covers on your ears so you don't get popped in the ear, right?
Yeah, you don't need a lot of equipment, but you need a pool, and those aren't readily available.
Cheap to put in.
No, they aren't. Those are, and there's only a handful of them, and people are always trying to use them for different reasons. But there's cages and lane lines. But for an individual athlete, yes, the equipment that they need is very, very limited. Oh, they need goggles too. That's another one. So.
Do they play with goggles?
Oh no, but
I think so. But
they
swim.
They
sure.
swim a lot, so
Yeah.
they've got to have them with them.
So does your practice include a lot of swimming as well as a lot of practicing?
Yeah, there's swimming, there's conditioning, which encompasses a variety of different things. We do game situations, so offensive strategy, defensive strategy, kind of positional work as well.
Right.
There's different positions in the pool, and we have certain players that are really good at certain things, and so we try to put them in positions where they're going to be successful.
And what was your position?
I was a utility player, and so I either guarded the center on the opposite team. I was either the center on the opposite team, and as I got older, I became more of an outside player. So I kind of did everything. It was it was probably one of the reasons I was able to play as long as I did, is just because I was able to play all positions, and being as tall as I am also helped as well.
And how often are you actually in the pool now as a coach?
As a coach, I will get in occasionally when there's just to show kind of positional stuff, and occasionally we'll try to scrimmage, but unfortunately I'm not as spry as I used to be, so getting in and trying to keep up with a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-old boys who swim thousands and thousands of yards every day is not something I've had to come to the realization that it's probably not something that I'm going to be able to do successfully anymore at this point.
Yeah,
but I do try.
They can swim laps around you, literally.
They absolutely, and it's so.
Well, gosh, what were we going to say? I don't know. I had something that
Beyond the numbers.
Beyond the numbers.
Money
I know.
105.5. March.
We've got like
Business and Sports
Business
Month.
and Sports. That's right.
Excited next week. We've got a friend of the show. His name's Marcos, and he owns a bunch of jiu-jitsu studios in town. So basically, he gets paid to beat people up. So that's going to be interesting.
Which is a good thing. Yeah.
We've got Jeff Savage from the River Cats, and then we have First Tee of Sacramento talking about golf.
Are you a golfer?
A very, very, very bad one.
Okay. Well, you fit right in with Katie and I then.
Perfect.
We can all play. All right, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. All right.
Okay, how are we going to wrap?
So we want to talk some more about Sutter Wealth Management?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you do individuals, you do corporate.
Yeah, I mean, just
talk a little bit about the services you guys provide. And
if someone's listening and is concerned about the future, what should they do? And I'll just give them kind of a generic answer.
Yep. So we'll do that, and then we'll finish up, and then go a little teaser about next week.
Cool.
You don't know Marcus' last name.
I can't remember.
One thing to talk about is water polo injuries. I can talk about like broken noses and all that kind of stuff. It's just for sensationalism.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Seriously, my foot's killing me. I'm nervous about Italy because of all the walking if my foot doesn't get better.
Yeah.
Might have to get a
What can you
cortisone shot or
do?
something.
Are there exercises you can do to work on that?
Stretches. I'm gonna go to yoga tonight, which is gonna kill it.
Yeah.
They just said, well, the internet says ice and stay off of it. I had it before and it took 2 months to heal. I had to stop running and everything.
That's a bummer.
It sucks.
Because when are you going in May?
Yeah. We've changed the itinerary again now. I think dumping Amalfi, and we're just gonna do Florence, Venice, Rome,
Okay.
and not go to Amalfi. Unconfirmed though, I have to reprice that out. Did you check out the website I sent you?
I haven't done shit.
I have
I
wanted
need
to
to.
also, but I promised Rick that I would not be on the computer because I've been in trouble for working too much.
By him?
Yep. It's been a lot of hours this month.
And we're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Mark and Katie here with our guest, John Joyce. John is an advisor in a CRPS with Sutter Wealth Management. If you want to get a hold of him, it's jjoyce@sutterwm.com, 916-740-1805.
And what is CRPS?
Chartered Retirement Plans Specialist.
Well, all right.
It basically means that I know a lot about qualified plans like 401ks, defined benefit plans, profit sharing, and when I say should, that is it's more of it's a designation that I got a couple years ago.
And so do you work with a lot of corporations then, a lot of pension plans?
Absolutely. That's one of our focuses, is to design qualified planning strategies for small to mid-sized businesses.
So what do you define as small to mid-size?
Oh,
is it number of employees or participants? Or
you could do it by number of employees. Our kind of target is a couple million in sales, between 50 and 200 in employees.
Okay.
And just to come in and say, okay, what do we have? What are we trying to achieve? What service providers do we need to bring in to achieve the goals that the business owners want? To be able to provide a benefit to the employees, but also at the same time to provide a benefit to the owner, who is at some point going to need to retire as well.
Sure. So do you effectively like design a plan for a company then? Is that what you guys do, and then help them implement it?
Yes. So basically, if there's a business owner out there that wants to provide retirement benefits for themselves and their employees, we would come in, just kind of have a conversation about what they want. At that point, there's different providers out there. I have a couple of preferred ones that I like to use. And we go and kind of just at that point back into a solution based on what the owner wants. We'll do some projections on where the owner is right now financially, where they want to be in 5, 10, 15 years, whatever that may be. Okay. And then come to them with a solution that fits their needs. And at that point, if it's something that they want to pull the trigger on, well, then we put it in place.
Do you find that the owners know where they want to be in 5, 10, or 15 years? Because the reason I ask is a lot of times we will have that conversation with them about exit planning, and a lot of times they're not quite, it's kind of fuzzy.
Well, I also think it's totally overwhelming. I mean, on the hiring side, I'm giving offers to employees on behalf of my clients, and they've got a 401k with a 4% match and then a 50% up to another 1%. And I always wonder, how did they come up with this versus a 5-year vesting, a 2-year vesting, a safe harbor for the, and there's so many different ways that they structure it.
Yeah. Again, it comes back to the business, it comes back to cash flow, it comes back to what the owner wants to provide for themselves again, and what type of benefit they want to provide for the employees. Having a retirement plan and that available to you if you're working at a company is a reason to stay there, and it's a reason to be vested in that company growing and staying there for a long time.
Absolutely, you have to have it nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with the way people are moving firms, you gotta have things to attract them.
I've had very few clients that haven't had a 401k plan set up, and it's been a very hard sell on the candidate side.
I bet it is, yeah. Yeah. So, the vesting schedule, like Katie had mentioned, or the percentage match, that kind of stuff. I mean, it varies from plan to plan to plan.
There's
a lot of reasons behind that.
We could sit here for several hours and talk about all the variables that you would put into.
You could sit here.
Yes, okay.
You probably got 15 more minutes out of me before I fall asleep.
Yeah, it's not the most riveting subject matter. I'll give you that one. But one of the things is, there are a variety of different things that you have to go over with the owners in regards to what they want.
Right.
And they can use it as a recruiting tool, as a retainment tool.
Absolutely.
To keep their employees, and I think that's what a lot of them have to do.
Super important.
Yeah. But also, it can a way to bring people into some ownership of the business as well.
Absolutely.
That's part of your strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just have found a lot of owners aren't totally clear what they want to do, and like you said, sometimes it's uncomfortable for them too.
Well, I always sit there, and talking about someone's personal finances is not the easiest thing to do for people.
Right.
It's very, very private information.
Yeah.
Right. But so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you've got the corporate businesses you work with, and you work with individuals at Sutter?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have an individual business owner as just individual clients, regardless if they've got a qualified plan in place. We have retirees that are kind of in that enjoying life. And we're making sure that they can continue to enjoy life as long as possible with their finances. And then young professionals, people that are about to retire, anyone that's just, we do have niche markets that we do focus on, but it comes down to anybody who wants to make their situation better, wants to have an understanding and make sure that they are comfortable moving forward and saying, hey, I am on the right track.
Right.
Even if...
And point of clarification, you don't have to be rich. I was just talking with my honey about this last night. You don't have to have $1 million portfolio to have a financial advisor. If you're looking for some direction because you don't know what you're doing, because it's scary and confusing and kind of overwhelming and boring, I mean, I'm in finance and I don't find it super exciting. So it's okay to call you if you don't have $1 million portfolio.
Yeah, it's better to start early.
Absolutely. It's okay
So you
to
can build
call
up to the $1
John
million.
if you're
Use John to
putting.
build up to the $1 million.
I mean, I've bounced ideas off of John. How much should I be deferring into my 401k plan because I'll probably work for another 50 years. So why bother now, right? But these kind of things are so important to talk about.
Yeah, I always tell people that they're like, what does it take to work with you? And I'm like, well, the simplest answer is a will to want to make your situation better and get it organized.
Right.
And there's many cases where we can significantly help people. And then there's been a select few cases where people come in and I tell them, you're doing the right thing already. You don't really have to change anything else, and you really don't need me. But again, those are fewer than the situations where people they kind of want clarity because there is so much noise out there about what you should and should not be doing.
And technology is, we've been talking about off and on throughout the course of the show. Technology, I mean, you've got these robo-advisors, you've got the ability to go put your money in a Scott trade account and do your own trading. I mean, my experience with people that do that, who aren't in the business that you're in, typically they don't do very well.
Well, again,
on their own. I've just seen it.
It is a situation where you are investing based on your own personal emotions. And one of the things that we try to do is take that out of the equation and say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, you need to be doing this, this, and this every single year, and monitoring that as it goes along. So that they don't say, oh, I see something that I really like, and I see dollar signs in my eyes.
I'm gonna put it on in Target and shoes, baby.
There you go, exactly, and that actually occurs, and it gets people in trouble.
I just have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear stories, and I listen to people all the time say, oh, do this and do that, and it's not. It comes back to creating a plan, maintaining it, managing it, and just make sure that over the years you're doing everything that you need to do. Now, can we predict where markets are going to go? Absolutely not. But we can focus on the things we can control. Yeah. And as long as you do that and make sure that you're just making smart, educated decisions, again, I don't want to say that you're going to be fine, but you give yourself a better chance of being financially secure in future years.
And realistic expectations. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but real life isn't exactly like that.
No.
Not exactly. But I think it's important to have a strategy.
Absolutely.
And then to follow the strategy with tweaks as need be.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's happened sometimes. What I've experienced with talking with different people over the years is that people deviate from the strategy.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't want to. All of a sudden, I got a great idea this time, and
yeah, it is stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane.
Understand what your lane is and stay in it, regardless of outside influences that might kind of take you out of that. No, because there aren't lanes in water polo.
Good swimming analogy,
I really
though,
should
right?
have Wikipedia water polo this morning.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. It's definitely a physical sport. Right? I mean, you get lots of injuries.
Right?
I've broken my nose probably 8 or 9 times in the last 20 years. It's mostly facial injuries.
You did say before you came on the show you had a face for radio.
I do. No, I mean everyone's now like, who's this guy? Like, what does he look like now? But there is a Facebook live feed, so if they want to check that out, they can check that out.
The microphone is blocking out your nose.
Yeah,
that's probably a good thing as well. But no, I've broken fingers. I mean, you get rotator cuff injuries. You get. I mean, I've been knocked out a couple of times. But yeah, it's not a pitter patter little sport at all.
Blood in the pool. Everybody has to get out.
No, only the person that's bleeding.
Oh.
So you've been knocked out in the pool?
Yep.
So did your teammates like pull you out and get the next guy in, or
I don't want to come across as overly macho or manly, but I'm sure I will. No, there was a time back, I think, when I was playing against what was the college. Playing down in the Bay Area when I was on UC Davis, and I took an elbow. It was inadvertent, just right across the temple, and the next thing I know, I'm being pulled out of the pool and bleeding everywhere, and got stitched up and jumped back in.
Well, John, thank you for being on the show today as I knocked over my food.
Absolutely.
We've been talking with John Joyce, who is with Sutter Wealth Management. He's an advisor and also CRPS that works with individuals and corporations, doing lots of financial advising.
All right. Katie McConnell with Clifton Larson Allen. Excited next week. We have the Jiu-Jitsu owner coming on as we continue March Sports Month.
That's right. And Mark Bellows here with Clifton Larson Allen as well. You can get a hold of Katie Knight at 916-784-7800.
Talk to you next week.
Boom.
Picture time.
Yeah, we're going to do a picture in there. Let me get rid of Facebook Live.
So I didn't ruin everybody's career, right?
I've already been working on that myself, so don't worry.
Put your own.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually taking care of
I
that
don't need
on a
any
daily basis.
assistance with that.